Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, she's among the top 2% of all realtors in DFW. The secret to her success, next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, on this show, I love to interview rock stars. I love to interview those people who have soared to the top of their business. And my next guest is just such a person. Gillian Cunningham is among the top 2% of all realtors in DFW. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now, you were telling me the reason you got into real estate was actually because you got burned.
Yeah, that's true. I was actually in corporate America. I was looking to purchase some investment properties, and I met a person who was a real estate broker and a mortgage broker, meaning that they could assist me in buying the house as well as assist me in finding financing for the house. And that person took advantage of me. And I felt like, wow, if that happened to me, what's happening to other people out there? And so I really wanted to get into the industry so that I could help educate and empower people to make informed decisions when it comes to real estate.
And you started in 2002, so you've seen a few ups and downs.
I have indeed. I lived through the economic downturn in 2008 that lasted for about 3.5 years. Texas was impacted, but not impacted as much as it was nationally, the country was nationally. And now we're going through this issue with interest rates. And so, yes, it's a different market now. It's a very interesting time for real estate.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of healthy for industries like real estate and mortgages where, you know, during good times, anybody can sell a house. You're just an order taker.
That's very true.
During the challenging times, that's when you find out who the real, winners are. And I want to brag about you. We're going to pull up your website because you've built an amazing team. Tell us about your business. Tell us about the clients you like to work with.
Okay. Well, I've pretty much sold all over the Metroplex. I've sold as far north as Highland Village. I've sold as far south as Mansfield, the Midlothian area. And then I've gone all the way over to Fort Worth, and then as far east as the Rockwall Heath area. And I work with clients, first-time home buyers. I work with luxury home buyers. I work with those who are looking to move up. And then those who may be downsizing because their children are going off to college and they don't need all that space anymore.
Sure. Well, one of the things that impresses me about you, and it could be because you got burned so early that you said, man, I would never do this to anybody else. It's not like you're showing couples 3 homes and you're really trying to convince them to get into this most expensive home that's going to make you the most money. You're working in the best interest of your client at all times.
Yes, indeed. I think it's very important that you go through and you do a buyer's consultation, because it's not about what I want for the client, it's what does the client want, and really listening to what it is they desire, what are their needs for the particular property, what area are they most interested in, how do they want their house to look and feel. And those things are really important in helping someone find something that fits their needs and not the needs of me as the real estate agent.
Sure. You and I were talking before the show that in a way you become something of a therapist, because all too often you're coming in because there was a death or a divorce. And so people have to know, like, and trust you in order to really bring you into their life, don't they?
That's very true. As a real estate agent, we're not just a real estate agent, we're also a therapist. We sometimes can assist with getting their house staged to present and everything. And then we're walking them through and seeing things through their eyes, because they are going through different emotions when they're looking to buy a home or if they're looking to sell a home. And so, yes, I have to be there and be empathetic to what their needs are and what their true desires are.
Well, I urge you to follow her on social media, because there's dozens and dozens of great testimonials. I found one that I particularly like. Let's go ahead and roll that.
Okay.
After living in McKinney for a few years, we decided to move to the city. We have used realtors in the past, and they were fine, but Gillian was like a caliber way above all that. I think what really stood out to me for Gillian was, just to put things in perspective, when we got a lot of offers on our house in McKinney, Gillian brought a spreadsheet with her that lined out the details of every offer. It was who the buyer was, how much over asking they were giving us, the percent down, all this kind of stuff. And so just to take any sort of emotion out of it and just look at the facts was really helpful. I hadn't had another realtor do that with me before. And it just made it so that we were very confident with the offer that we were choosing. I mean, we were in a lucky position to have multiple offers to start with.
Gillian really walked us through the process in terms of looking at properties. She comes over to your place, she gives you all of these tools and preparation guides. This is sort of the timing, this is when the photographer is going to come, this is when we're going to list the house, this is when we're going to start showing, and then this is when we're going to start shopping. So yeah, it really took all of the thinking out of the process. Really knows the market well. She also is really good at keeping you on track, reminding you about your priorities without, pushing a sale or influencing your, what you want. So I guess that just comes down to you can totally trust her.
She is totally a class act. I mean, she's always on time. She's incredibly professional. When she says she's going to do something, she does it.
Reliable, professional, totally responsive. It was painless. There was never any moment where it was like, I'm not sure that my realtor is working for me.
And you already have a great reputation, but you have partnered with EXP, and I want to give a shout out to EXP because it's really one of the most respected real estate companies in the country, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. EXP is one of the few companies out there that's truly agent owned, in that we actually own stock in the company, we help make decisions for the company, and it's just, we're not only here domestically, but we're also in several different countries as well. So EXP offers a lot of great resources and opportunities for real estate agents.
So like if somebody was moving here from Florida, you're part of a network that can
That is
guide
correct.
them.
That is correct. I do have access to other realtors in other cities and states that if someone is relocating, and I do a lot with relocation, I can help to connect them with different realtors in different cities depending on what their needs are.
Absolutely. She's also an author. I want to put up the book on the screen. It's called Real Estate Tips for Savvy Home Buyers and Sellers. Tell us about the book.
Well, this is a book that I put together based on a lot of tips that I was often sharing with my clients, both buyers and sellers. It kind of walks them through, if you're a buyer, what can you expect in trying to prepare to purchase a home? What do you need to do initially? What can you expect as you go through the home buying process when you're searching for homes? And what you can expect from contract to close. And then with sellers, it's really interesting because I often tell sellers, how you live in a house is not how you sell a house. And people say, well, what do you mean by that? I say, when you live in a house, you want it to be as comfortable and cozy as you want it to be for you and your family. But when you go to sell that house, you need to open it up to the masses. You need to go through, I tell clients to declutter, depersonalize, and then they need to neutralize. And so I tell them it's okay to have colors in, your children's rooms, but typically, in order to open your house up to the masses, you want to be able to allow people to be able to envision themselves living in that particular property. So you want to neutralize things, perhaps take down a lot of personal photos, because when people come in the house, you don't want them to envision you living in the house. You want them to envision themselves living in the house. So yes, they need to go through declutter, depersonalize, and neutralize the property when they're putting their home on the market.
And that's great advice. So what do you see for 2024?
Well, for 2024, I think that the market will start to come out more into a balanced market, where right now it's an interesting time in that it's a seller's market. However, and what that means is that a seller's market is usually when we have less than 6 months of inventory. In this case, we do have less than 6 months of inventory, but interest rates are impacting what's happening out there for buyers. And so some buyers are sitting on the sidelines because they're waiting for interest rates to come down. But I often tell clients, you need to date the rate and marry the house. And because you can always refinance once you get into the property. And so housing prices are going to continue to go up, but you can adjust that interest rate. So again, I think in 2024, things will start to balance out some. Buyers will have more leverage, and sellers will, the prices will pretty much have to correct themselves. So yes, indeed, it will be an interesting time, but houses still will always be selling.
Absolutely, and DFW is different. Like when you pick up USA Today and they talk about the housing market, they're not talking about DFW.
No, they're not. They're talking about the national market. We have a lot of people migrating into Dallas area, and because of all of the amenities and things, and in Texas not having the tax rate on your income tax. So yes, we have a lot of people migrating in, and our market is very healthy. And they are not anticipating that we will have any recession. Things will slow some, but no real recession. So if you're interested in buying a house, you need to get into the market and go out and buy that home now.
Outstanding. All right, Gillian, we're almost out of time. So final thoughts, what would you like to leave people with?
I would say if you're looking to buy or sell a property, always hire a real estate agent. This is not something that you do every day, even if you've purchased a home. So you want to have someone who can step in and look out for your best interest and help you in getting the home that you desire.
Outstanding. We're going to leave you with her website, which is GillianCunningham.com. The great Gillian Cunningham. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.